Welcome to the Voices of Otolaryngology podcast series, where we spotlight diverse perspectives and insights within the field of otolaryngology. I'm your host, Rahul Shah. Let's jump into it. Welcome to Voices of Otolaryngology. One of my favorite phrases is sometimes you just get lucky. And here we are, Dr. Schmalbach, super excited to be here. Welcome. And we're staring out at the OTO EXPO at the 2025 annual meeting. It is awesome to be here and to be with you.
Likewise.
All right. So where are you? What are your titles? And everybody knows we don't prep for these. We just have conversations. Tell us about yourself.
It is my privilege to serve as editor-in-chief for both of our journals, Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, and OTO Open, and to serve on the board of directors. I'm a head and neck surgeon by trade and chair of the Department of Otolaryngology of Temple University in Florida.
How long will we have you in the role? How long is a role of service for both the journals?
Sure. So usually it's a 4-year term with the option if the board feels appropriate to renew. So I'm very grateful that that is the case.
Let's give a high five. I pinned her down. All right. She's got another 4 years, and we are so grateful.
Thank you.
Sincerely, as a author, as somebody who writes, I just think what we colloquially call the white journal, because it's printed with a white cover, is an awesome journal. What excites you? It must be perhaps a highlight of your career as an academician.
Absolutely. I think just the impact, right? You're taking cutting edge, state-of-the-art medicine, contemporary viewpoints, and really making sure that that information gets in the hands of the otolaryngologists, our sister societies, mid-level providers, trainees, residents, med students. And for me, what's the jewel is the fact that I have this incredible team, far smarter than I am, with how subspecialized we are. We have amazing associate editors that I lean really hard on. They're really the content experts, the ones that figure out who's the right person to review the article.
Well, I want you to talk about the associate editors and the way the journal is structured in just a second, but I do want to acknowledge I work for the board. We have a board of directors of the Academy and the Foundation, and Dr. Schmalbach sits on that board. Last year, she gave the best presentation I've ever seen at a board meeting. All right, that was her. It was a 10-minute presentation on bringing the journal back. Talk about that. What do I mean by bringing the journal back?
Absolutely. So workflows always ebb and flow back and forth. And there was a period where we wound up outsourcing the editorial staff. So think about that as the individuals that accept the manuscript and make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Not the peer review, but they're the staff behind essentially the engine that makes it run. And though we really appreciated the organization that was doing that for the journal, we realized that personal touch was lost. And at the Academy, it's all about that personal touch. So to be able to bring this editorial staff back in-house, you feel like it's streamlined the process. Hopefully for authors, they feel like it's more user-friendly. And then for reviewers too. And ultimately, what we want to make sure is happening is that when we receive a manuscript, we are turning around as quickly and thoroughly as possible the disposition, the final decision, so that we can support researchers and we're not the bottleneck or prohibiting them from publishing their science.
And for full transparency, I don't get to put my finger on the scale because we have a firewall, and Cecelia and I are very serious about that. She's rejected some of my manuscripts, and I just smile and move on. They probably deserve to be rejected. When we talk about bringing the journal in-house, it was a 7-figure investment, but we're very thankful for you. It's been a huge amount of your time. And I want the public to know that. Huge amount of your time. What are your KPIs? What do you look at? Because I submit something to the journal. What is a fair turnaround time? Because you're exceeding all your benchmarks. I'm very proud of that. But what should our listeners think when they submit something to the journal?
Absolutely. So we really try to make sure that the first decision, what we call disposition, is done in 30 days or less. But again, it's not just about that metric. We want it to be a quality review. And so there's some things that we do to help with that. One, I'm really proud that the White Journal and OTO Open, in order to progress up to be an associate editor, it's actually based on merit. It's not who knows Cecelia.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because it was based on merit, Cecelia. I couldn't pull any strings.
And so we really...
Talk about that. Talk about the pathway.
So it's based on your involvement with the journal, how many reviews you're doing. Are they timely reviews or are you missing your deadline? And then actually every review is actually scored by me so that there's a quality measure. And
so you're looking at thousands of reviews yourself to score them?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then from that, if someone's doing really well, they become a star reviewer. Star reviewers go on to the editorial.
I didn't get that either.
Go onto the editorial board, and from there, if they're still engaged and interested, that's how they wind up promoting up in their area of specialty to an associate.
So we're going to pivot. This could go on for hours, but don't worry, Miguel, it won't go on for hours. Let me ask you, I believe in brevity, and sometimes I'll get reviews back that are 4 pages long. I've written to Nature or New England Journal, it's a 17-page review. I actually think that's superfluous and ridiculous. I think a reviewer shouldn't be correcting my grammar and typos. How do you grade a review? Is it how long it is?
So actually, if you were to go on our Academy website, and the short answer is absolutely not. Again, it's not the length, it's the quality of the review. 1, was the disposition correct? 2, did you pick up on all of the major flaws and minor flaws? And so there's actually a scoring system. It's very transparent, very objective, as it should be with the journal.
Scoring system for how a review gets graded. I'm going to research that myself because I probably would get a C. All right, so you become a star reviewer, and then how many associate editors do you have? And I love that you're constantly evolving the journal. I've gotten to work with you in a year in this role, and you're always thinking what's around the corner. So talk about how many associate editors you have.
So we have depending on the subspecialty, we can have anywhere from 1 to 3 associate editors. So for example, pediatrics on head and neck, we have 3. Laryngology, we now have 2. I'm really excited. One of the newer AE positions is our sleep associate editor. Wonderful opportunity to partner with our sister society, the ISSS. Really excited. Again, I think it's my responsibility as an editor to make sure our journal's staying current. And so we have a new associate editor for AI. And
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then the next thing that's going to launch in February, when Jennifer Shin finishes her role as deputy editor, she's done an amazing job. She's going to transition into an associate editor for statistics and epidemiology.
Amazing. Does that mean you have a new deputy editor?
I do. I'm very excited. Thank you for teaming that up for me. So Dr. James Naples from up in Boston, he's currently the associate editor for otology and neurotology. Again, has done a remarkable job. This is based on merit. What I'm really excited about is he is devoted to education. And, you can tell there's a lot of education that needs to go into becoming a reviewer, doing quality reviews. So one of his responsibilities will be taking over the peer review program. We were the first otolaryngology journal to actually set up a structured peer review program so that residents could learn how to do a good review. And when they graduate, they actually go through, an independent score. And if they do a great job, they become a peer reviewer. And for me, that's really important because by definition, a peer review needs to be someone of your equal. And I sat there, and when I developed the program, I thought, no one taught me back in the day how to peer review. I kind of learned on the job, and it just seemed obvious that we needed that educational opportunity. So I think we'll take that over, and then we're going to start to partner together and look at other educational platforms that we can put out on the website for the Academy, not only for our domestic members, but again, we want to really reach far, literally around the globe, and partner with international members as well.
I love the meritocracy. Don't let me put my finger on the scale. Don't reward your friends or my friends. Somebody could grow up to be Cecelia Schmalbach. No, I'm serious, right? So you said it. You could start as a resident, then you become a peer reviewer, and then you can move up. So that's how you, Dr. Naples, and others have descended. Is that right?
Right. Absolutely.
Thank you for that. That's awesome. Really, I think it's very, very important to have an equitable superstructure for our journalists. Much gratitude. OTO Open. How's that going?
It's going great. It's actually has a significant growth over the past few years. One of the things with OTO Open that's nice is that immediately when it's accepted, that manuscript is available not just to people that subscribe to the journal, but actually around the globe. So a lot of times, understandably so, there's a little bit of confusion. So if I may.
Yes.
OTO Open is open access. It is PubMed indexed, meaning it has an impact factor. It goes through peer review, so it's not one of the predatory journals. Actually, members that publish in OTO Open will have over 2 times more citations attached to their manuscript because anyone from the globe has access to it if they have.
So it would increase their H factor?
Exactly.
Oh my, Cecelia. All right. Game on. I want to artificially increase my H factor. Can you explain H index? Sorry, H index. H index. Yes. Can you explain the H-index?
Absolutely. So we often talk about impact factor for the journal, but H-index for the authors, how many times they're cited, and that has everything to do with access, and that's why open access, especially for our international members, becomes really important.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of the H-index is it's where the intersection, the Y and X axis. So the X axis is how many publications you have, and the Y axis is how many times you've been cited. So if you have 40 publications that have been cited 40 times, right? Yeah, I think I'm saying it right. We'll give you an H-index of 40. Yeah, yeah. So that's amazing. So OTO Open is really flourishing, and that's on you as well.
Well, it's a team effort. It is absolutely.
But it's a lot.
And one of the other things that I really appreciate the board and the academy doing is when we went to Wiley as our publisher, it actually opened up more platforms for some of our international authors to be able to publish where there's a waiver of the processing fee. And then domestically, there are many institutions that already belong, if you will, to a consortium where their publishing fee is also
For OTO Open.
for OTO Open. And so I just encourage authors to look into that. And if they're not sure, to reach out to our staff and we'll be able to get the answer.
Yeah, I believe in full transparency, and I don't have all the answers, but I have smart people around me. I didn't know that. So I didn't know that, Cecelia, that some organizations, even domestically, have programs, consortiums where OTO Open is subsidized or it's free.
Exactly.
And international, there's other pathways.
Yeah. Essentially, it's the institution that's paying for it. So
Absolutely, but for the author.
Absolutely. So there's the Big Ten, right? Like football.
Yeah.
It's the Big Ten in the Midwest, Michigan, et cetera. So I encourage authors to look into that. It's becoming more and more popular.
You're going global. And Dr. Schmalbach, amazing. Again, she's a chair, and then she has 2 journals. But she told us, folks, we're not out there globally. And can you talk about that? Because you convinced us that we need to go meet our authors where they are.
Absolutely. So we have some amazing research that's being done by our international members. They can't always come to the annual meeting. They're thrilled to hear there are over 75 countries here today.
Yes, 75 countries, 820. Amazing.
Amazing for Indianapolis. So like you said, you need to meet people where they are and make sure that they understand what the resources are and the benefits, for example, for OTO Open. I've had the privilege of, for example, going to Taiwan back in May, looking forward to some other international meetings, and then really partnering with our international colleagues here through the Academy, doing some educational programs and platforms as we talked about before. The other thing I'm very excited about is this year we are actually going to integrate our domestic editorial board and international editorial board. And I think that that really speaks to the health of the journals, but also the value of our international researchers such that we're all on the same playing field when it comes to research and opportunity.
So you're putting the editorial boards together. How many editors are there total?
Well, I'd have to go through and count.
Are we talking about 50 maybe?
At that point.
At 50, yeah, great. You were struck, and you shared this with the board, the reception from our international colleagues from Taiwan and others. What was their feedback, and what was 1 or 2 big take homes?
They honestly are eager to do research and to publish and want to just find out how do we do this successfully within the structure of otolaryngology, head and neck surgery, and OTO Open. And so for me, I think that energy and drive is just exciting. And that's what lights the fire in my belly and some of the greatest joys I get as an editor.
Yeah, I hate to admit this, but I'll do it publicly to all of you. She has a great podcast. Do you want to tell them about your journal podcast? It's awesome.
Thank you.
Does it compete with us?
What's that? No. No.
But it's very cool.
So once a month, we select one manuscript that's been published in that issue. I do try and rotate it around. I realize we have members from all different subspecialties within our field. And we invite the senior author along with the managing associate editor. Much like this, there is no script. It's a fireside chat, if you will. But for those who have 20 minutes on the treadmill or driving home, I know our younger trainees enjoy podcasts over reading. It's a great opportunity to hear from the experts, learn the current science, and think about how you may want to incorporate this manuscript research, if you will, into your own.
Yeah. So I'm 50 years old. I told you I'm fully transparent. You know what, though, Cecelia? Half our membership is older than me and half are younger. So I love that you are giving different ways to meet the audiences. I'll tell you, there's nothing to me more exciting than getting the white journal out of my mailbox and sitting to read it. Do you get that same feeling?
I do.
I seriously, I don't even sometimes eat dinner. I'll just go sit in the study. It's so cool.
So no, I totally agree. Yet I know there's some people that
Absolutely
want to go onto the computer or on their phone. And so it goes back to you need to meet people where they are. And I think that that's what the Journal Academy does exceedingly well.
You talked about submission to disposition, a 30-day cycle time. All right, so I get lucky. Sometimes you get lucky, it gets accepted. What's my time to see it published? And I don't mean to put you on the spot. This isn't rehearsed, but is it online first? Walk me through that.
Absolutely. So it's going to go online first. For OTO Open, then that's where it stays, online, and that is almost immediate. For the print journal, it'll still publish online first, and then it'll eventually get put into an issue. And usually there's about a 90-day lag. I really do.
That's it.
I know. I try to really
That's amazing.
make sure that, if you've been in the queue, that you're,
Sure.
we go by that order. But sometimes there needs to be some wiggle room.
And you've been having to clean up the queue as we transition in-house, but you really aim for 90 days.
Yeah, that's where we sit right now.
We sit there. So I could do science. Today is, what is today? October 10th, maybe? All right, so let's challenge Dr. Schmalbach. It's not fair because you're at the annual meeting now. So I'm going to give you more time. Maybe by November, Thanksgiving, I'd get a disposition. But I could see it in the early winter.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And I feel like that's our responsibility. If, at the end of the day, researchers, academicians, they have the ability to shop around and decide what journal do they want to publish in. And I think having that turnaround matters. And I see it's my responsibility, not just to the authors, but to the public too, because if this is truly groundbreaking science, we need to get the word out there.
So you don't have to agree to this. You can wink your eye and I won't ask it again. Are you able to move things up in the queue if the science is that compelling?
Absolutely. And I will do that if it's something that's, earth-shattering, really deserves to be moved up in the queue. The other thing, again, wanting to recognize that we serve all of our members. So I never want to have one issue that's all, I'm a head and neck surgeon. It can't be all head and neck as much as I'm passionate about that. So making sure there's something for our laryngologists and for our, especially our private practitioners, those that are doing comprehensive otolaryngology. So it's that gentle balance. And then there are things such as the CPGs, the clinical practice guidelines. They're going to be escalated and elevated to the forefront.
What advice do you give to our budding academicians? I'll tell you, and this is called chills for you. Do you remember we would actually write a manuscript, we would print it out, we would staple 7 copies, I would go to the post office in Boston, I would mail it. Remember that? And then you would wait. And then you get something typewritten by somebody, which was the reviews. Is it surreal what we used to do? I'm so proud that your cycle time is really 120 days. I mean, that's awesome. I can't see it shrinking much more and having a quality output, but 4 months from submission to press with your ability to move it up, this feels good.
I agree with that full-heartedly.
What advice do you give to our trainees? Those that are private practice, those that are academicians, surgeon scientists, what advice do you give them?
Absolutely. So
and should our journal be top of mind for them?
I would hope so. And I think the onus is on me to make sure we're delivering the top product that we can. For the trainees, I'd encourage those that enjoy peer review and scientific writing, think about going through the peer reviewer program. It is a wonderful gateway into scientific writing with a wonderful leadership track. For those that are trying to publish, the recommendation I would have is use each review as an opportunity to learn. It's always hard, and I've been there too. You get your manuscript rejected, put it away for a couple of days, then pull it back out with an open mind, open heart, and see what can be done differently. And then just a little pearl some people don't know is when you are asked to revise the manuscript, recognize that the people that reviewed it the first time, who are volunteers and working just as hard as you are with RVU targets, etc., they're going to review it a second time. So just be gentle and nice. We all make mistakes. They may have missed something. Just be kind. And
now you're baiting me. What you see people say, I can't believe.
Oh,
give me something that they've said. This is great. Give me some dirt.
You can wind up with some pretty nasty, snarky remarks. And though they may be right, think about the context of how it's being presented. Because again, if your aim is to get the manuscript accepted, you don't want to disenfranchise the individual who's reviewed.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about tips to make yourself obsequious to the reviewer. So if I was always right, thank you very much. I really sincerely appreciate your time. Regarding your 900 suggestions, number 1, 2, 3, thank you very much, right? I mean, you just acknowledge. Perhaps you missed, I just tested this on page 2.
Exactly. And I even, when I resubmit manuscripts to other journals,
I don't get rejected.
No.
Dr. Schmalbach.
I won't even say like, perhaps you missed. I'll just say, thank you for that important point. It is stated, and I'll just cite it where it is. And again, and we want to make sure we're publishing accurate information. So I do want authors to recognize there's also an appeals process. We're going to make mistakes. If you think something was misinterpreted by the reviewer, the associate editor, ultimately by me, please come forward. And if there is a true mistake there, we want you to let us.
Yeah, and I'll look you right in the eyes in the camera here. Dr. Schmalbach, true to her word, member called me about a month ago. I immediately called Dr. Schmalbach, and we had our firewall, but she said, have him email me, and we do have an appeals process. So you are true to your word. So I appreciate that. Let's ask you the $1 million question. Ready? You know what it is. What's our acceptance rate?
So our acceptance rate sits around 21%.
All right, so every 5 papers, I should get one in?
Yep.
And how about OTO Open? Do we know that, or do we disclose that?
It's just a little bit higher.
Yeah, but still, it's about 1 in 5. Is that comfortable? Is that where you want to be?
It is. I mean, I think at the end of
I mean,
the
it
day,
can't be 100%. It can't be 0.
correct. You know, I do think one needs to decide as a journal, are you more interested in the impact factor? And the easiest way to elevate your impact factor candidly is to publish fewer articles.
Is that involved in the formula for
If
scoring?
one is thinking about it, it is. Now, what I'll say
really?
is that is not our approach for us. We have this fiduciary role to our academy members and to our patients. So we want to publish sound science. It has sat in the low 20s for a number of years. So I think that that's a healthy place to live. And then I think just understanding when a manuscript doesn't quite meet the merits of the print white journal, say it's a smaller pilot project, or there was a methodology fatal flaw. That's not I won't say fatal flaw. There's a methodology gap, if you will, that's not the author's fault we can't address, but maybe that information is important to gather. That's where OTO Open is a great home.
Yeah. What do you see in the frontier? You're always innovative. You're thinking ahead. Where do you see the journal going? You've just had your strat plan. You've talked a little bit about that, modernizing the journal, acknowledging our authors. Where do you see us going the next? Now you re-upped. We're so thankful for you. In the next 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah, I think the landscape is wide open on the international front. That excites me because I'm actually going to learn from our international colleagues.
What do you mean by that?
Just an opportunity to continue to partner and publish and ensure that sound research that's being done globally has a home in the White Journal and also OTO Open. The second thing is artificial intelligence. Wonderful opportunity that science is not going to go away. I, in the spirit of disclosure, just came from the consortium where all the journal editors get together in a very collegial way, talk about challenges. And actually, we talk about artificial intelligence today and figuring out, that black box methodology that we can't quite explain. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but how do we review those articles and how do we continue to support AI-developed research and ensure that it's evidence-based? So I think that that's the next frontier.
Can you give us a scoop from that, or do you want to get your thoughts as a consortium together before I hold you to it from the AI consortium?
Well, we're hoping we will put together a panel for next year. Hopefully that'll get accepted.
Talk to Dr. DeVos.
Exactly. So, really where it comes into play, many will argue that, for example, that the publisher ultimately is going to have to determine should AI in-house within the publisher be part of the review process. So not AI, big cloud access to everyone, right? This is copywritten material. This is author-owned ideas. At the same time, I think we as otolaryngologists recognize we need to decide as a profession how best to implement AI and where's the ethical boundaries and how do we ensure our patients feel safe with how their data is being owned. And we don't want a publisher to be the ones dictating or defining that. And that's why I'm really grateful for my other colleagues who are phenomenal journal editors as well.
I would implore your consortium, when you We use words like academic bureaucracy consortium. To me, that's code word for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. We would love for you all to come out with something in 18 months to 2 to 3 years. It's moving so fast.
Yeah, we're hoping to come out within the next year. And
perfect.
candidly, the last line's going to be, we will revisit this in 6 to 12 months because we know it's going to rapidly turn over. And it's not that it's going to be a black and white, here are the bullet points, but these are the things to consider. These are some of the important talking points, if you will. These are things to think about in the future.
You're one of the key leaders in our field, serving on our board in this very important role. What do you like to do for fun?
Oh, for fun?
Yeah, this is our goof off time now. People get to know
I
you.
love it. So I'm an avid runner. I joke that just lets me eat more at 5 feet. But it's a great way to enjoy the outdoors and intersect with people you would never otherwise cross paths. Avid reader to enjoy that and enjoy cooking.
You got some sports teams there in Philly.
I do. It was a rough weekend with the Phillies and the Eagles.
Yeah. Party words regarding the journal. I am so proud that you are the captain of our ship. The future is very, very bright. And there's some tough waters. Not politics, but technology and regulatory. It's a very hard pond to be a journal editor, not over one, but two. Any parting words for us?
Absolutely. One, thank you for the opportunity. And honestly, a sincere thank you to our Academy members, our researchers, our reviewers.
Yeah, amazing, right?
The success you heard today is not about me. It's really about the entire.
How many reviewers are there?
So we trimmed it down to just active reviewers.
Yeah.
So it's around 400.
I love these ways of getting rid of them. You don't give me any journal stuff anymore. So the whole team is probably about 500 people that are touching, right?
Absolutely. But no, a sincere thank you for all the hard work. Words cannot possibly express my gratitude. And then just again, anyone interested in journal reviewing, especially our brilliant residents, please think about the peer review program.
So really, how did they find that out?
So come find me, reach out to any of the staff members. There's also online, you can look and register that way as well.
Where is it online, do you know?
So within the entnet.org, there's an entire page dedicated to the journal.
And then under their peer reviewer
Peer
program.
reviewer program.
Don't you wish you and I had that?
Oh, I know.
Right. Think of our first review. We had no idea what we were doing. We might have even ghostwritten for an attending. I don't remember what you and I used to do.
And then the last thing I would just add, if I may, is please think about publishing your great research in the White Journal and OTO.
With turnaround times like that, exposure international, I think it's going to be our first place to go. Dr. Schmalbach, what an honor. Gratitude for continuing your service. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We hope today's episode sparked some fresh ideas. If it resonated with you, please subscribe and share it with friends. Have thoughts or suggestions? Use the feedback form in the show notes. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow us on social media for highlights, behind-the-scenes content, and updates. Thanks for listening. See you next time.